Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to it. This is a video that I don't want to film, but here I am filming it. I want to kill myself because I'm filming this video. This is gonna be a video where I talk about my dad. So I'm gonna start off with this. Why I am filming this video. One, I said in a video tour maybe even 3 ago that if y'all wanted the video, I would film it. I said screw that. Even if y'all don't want that video, even if y'all don't want this video, y'all getting it regardless. Because I figure it's a video I need to film sooner rather than later. Just to get it out there. So I'm gonna start off with something else too. Thing number 2. My dad is currently in prison. I don't know the exact release date, but I think, me and my mom think, he could be released from prison this year. So if he is, there's always that chance because I am at the end of the fucking day. At the end of the day. Yeah, I have a half sister that my dad. That's a whole separate thing that we're gonna get into this video about the sister. My half sister. I have a half sister. Yeah, he should reach out to that daughter. Fuck off. Like, stay the fuck away from me. Like, go try to raise that kid. Go give that kid something that I wish I had in my life, but didn't have. Or at one point I wish I had. Because at this point, I wish nothing with it. I don't want a dad. I don't want a stepdaddy. I don't want no kind of dad. Like, my mom has dated guys, bunch of them. And to me, there was one that just made me be like, nope, done with it. Don't want another dad. Don't even want a stepdad. And that was, I want to say, for what I can, from my recollection, is the first guy she dated that I remember her dating after her and my dad broke up and everything. I don't come from a divorced household per se. I come from a broken up because my parents, they never got engaged or married. They were just girlfriend, boyfriend. So broke up. So yeah, but there was this guy that my mom, I want to say they were together for 3.5 years, max 4 years. But okay, that guy is the reason why I'm done. I'll talk about him in a separate video, that guy. But I still care about that guy a lot, even though it made me want to be done. That guy made me want to be done with having anything close to a dad. I still care a lot about him. So if I do end up filming that video where I talk about him next, I will not be able to say a lot about him, but at the same time say a lot. I might hint at some things here and there in that video, but yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about my bio dad, my biological dad. Oh boy, where do I start? I'm not gonna cry in this video, because at this point, everything he did to hurt me, that's all in the fucking past. Like, after he went to jail this time, went to prison this time, I was like, let me shut the fuck up. Let me, make it to where this guy can never hurt me ever again. And that's not having a relationship with him ever again. Like, if there ever comes a chance where I'm in the room with him, I'm gonna be wearing shades and I'm just gonna be looking the other way. That's just how it is, and hopefully he doesn't try to look my way. But if he does, I'm gonna be like, this is not the time and place for it. I mean, there will never be a time and place for that. Call me cold-blooded, call me cold-hearted, call me whatever. But I'm done with him. So, I will say this, me and my dad, when I was young, I'm 19, be 20, November 1st. So I want to say when I was under the age of 5, 6, I remember me and my dad, he used to have this nickname for me, and it's from the movies Shrek. He used to call me Donkey. It makes me cringe thinking of it now. But we used to have that kind of relationship where he used to call me Donkey, and I hanged out with him every day because he and my mom were together. They had screaming, arguing matches. It never one time, from my recollection, turned physical. It was always verbal arguing. It wasn't verbal abuse, I just remember arguing all the time. But when they weren't arguing, he was spending time with me. Like, I remember one day, I believe I was sick or something, and this was back when I used to love ramen noodles. Now I hate ramen noodles. I hate the smell of ramen noodles, and I hate the taste of ramen noodles now. Like, get it 30 feet away from me. I hate that shit now. But back then, I used to love ramen noodles. I remember one day he made me ramen noodles. We were watching movies, and that was a good day. But as most stuff does, it ended. I don't remember when it ended or how it ended, but I know why it ended, and it's because my dad started doing illegal shit. Like, I think the first thing he did, from what I believe, I could be completely wrong on this, but he started stealing shit from people, from a couple of his friends. Like, one time he stole a lawnmower, I believe, and he brought it to my grandma's house, aka his mom's house. He used to spend a lot of time with my grandma, like a lot of time with her. And then eventually, he got caught and was arrested and sent to prison for, I don't know how many years, but I know it was long enough for my mom to eventually meet this new guy and start dating him for 3.5 years, 4 years. But in between that time, my mom was dating this new guy, and my dad got out of prison. I visited him twice, I believe. I don't know. But I do kind of remember visiting him once, and it was at this park that's near me. And the guy that my mom was dating, I believe he was there, just sitting there minding his own business, but he couldn't overhear anything, and I could tell it was awkward for him, awkward for my dad. From what I remember, my dad didn't like him at all. Now, I don't know why that could be. It could be because he was jealous. It could be whatever. I don't know why. But from what I believe, he never liked the guy. But I was living in my hometown at the time. Eventually, we moved towns. We moved to where the new guy that my mom started dating was from, and he had 2 children that were older than me. Like, he had a son who's 5 years older than me, and he had a daughter who's 6 years older than me. So I was always around his kids because we ended up moving to his hometown, so he could see those kids all the time. And we went to sprint car racing things, and that became my I loved going to the sprint car races. Like, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. That was my life. Back to my dad. My dad went back to prison at some point, but then, from what I remember, him and the new guy my mom started dating, they eventually broke up. I want to say it was late 2015. We ended up moving back to my hometown, and we moved into our apartment. That was a shit apartment, but it was what it was. What else? And eventually, my dad gets out of prison again. He starts going to church. I thought he was getting his life on track. Like, this time, I thought this is going to be the time he's going to quit doing the drugs, because he was doing drugs and all that. He started doing drugs he was doing drugs with my mom before that I don't even want to say too much, because there's a reason why I don't see I have a second sister, half sister. There's a reason I don't see her, and it has something to do with my dad and my mom and drugs. So I'm not going to say too much of that, but I will say my dad was always doing drugs, and I just never knew it. To me, from what I look back on, he seemed a person not on drugs. But when I look back on it again, I'm like, well, maybe that was one of the many, many reasons my mom and my dad were always arguing, was drugs. But yeah, my dad eventually got out of prison. He started going to church, started to get his life on track. I'm like, okay, this is gonna work. He's good. Eventually relapsed, went back to prison, and then I believe he got out. Actually, no. I want to say before, when he was getting clean and going to church and everything. From what I remember, me and my mom were going to my mom's sister and her mom's house. So to go see my aunt and my sister, to go see my aunt and my mom's mom. And so on the way there, my mom gets a phone call while my dad's in the hospital. Immediately turn back around, we start heading to the hospital. He's there for a good 2 to 3 days. I don't remember what the cause was at all. I'm gonna say it was a heart attack. I don't know what the cause was at all. It could have been a heart attack, because I assume it was a heart attack because that runs in my family. Like, that's how my grandpa died, was a heart attack. I was in the room when he took his last breath. I saw him take his last breath and die in the hospital. He was already in the hospital for something else. So that's the whole thing. But yeah. Okay, so my dad in the hospital, going to church and everything, and then I believe after he got out of the hospital and everything, I think that's when he started doing bad things again. Ended up back in prison, then got out, and eventually ended up back in the town that I live in. And I remember him texting me like, "Can I come see you?" I'm like, "Sure." I gave him my address, and he was like, "I'm not even 5 minutes away from there. Like, I can walk it." And he was literally like down the street, not even 5 minutes away from me. So started seeing him again. Eventually it got to the point where my mom had enough, where I want to say after a week is when my mom was like, I need to cut him off. Or I wanted to cut him off, because I was just like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I realized like he's just gonna not get clean again, or be unclean again. So eventually he did go back to his old ways. But before he went back to his old ways, got some girl pregnant, told me I was gonna have a baby sister, half sister, over text messaging. I got mad, and I texted my mama. I'm like, my dad told me something. And I'm like, guess what guess what my dad told me? And she guessed it right. So literally the first thing she said back to me, she was saying it jokingly, like, "You're gonna have a sibling?" And I'm like, yes. She immediately texts him, and it's usually always my mom who blocks him. It was the other way. He blocked my mom for the first time ever. He blocked my mom because she started going off on him, as she should. And then a couple of months later, I found out there's a warrant for his arrest, and I want to say under 2 months later, under 3, the cops finally found him, And he was arrested, and now we're here. To the point where I've always heard like either 5 or 6 or 7 years is how many years he got. One of those 3. So I'm like, well, it's been quite a while. It should be this year or the next when he gets out. So my thing is, yes, like 1,000 different Facebook accounts. Most of them I believe are deleted, but except for a couple. But every time he gets out of prison, he'll always make another Facebook account because obviously there's the email and password to it. And so my thing is, he's probably gonna do that again, and probably attempt to reach out to me this year if he does get out this year. My thing is, I don't know what to do if he does that. To save my sanity, I might just immediately block him. My thing is, he could make another Facebook account and then attempt to reach out to me again, and then having to block all his Facebook accounts. He's never gotten that too wild with it, but that's probably because I never blocked him before when he tried to reach out to me. But I don't want to go batshit crazy to the point where I start to hate him so much where I actually go out and do something that I'll regret to him. So keep my sanity. He tries to reach out to me. I'm gonna pray to God that he doesn't attempt to do anything crazy after I block him. I just want nothing to do with him. And my mom's like, my mom, I feel, wants me to have a relationship with him. And I'm just like, I can't, bro. You see how much he's hurt me in the past. Why do you force it upon me to potentially get hurt again and again? Like, you know what that could do to someone? That could make someone want to commit suicide. Like, I'm not trying to get hurt like that ever again. I'm causing myself sanity, and I'm causing myself a lot of hurt by just never wanting anything to do with him ever again. And it's better that way. And it's just like, why do you have to put me in the position where I have like a half sister that I have to deal with now? And eventually, that half sister, whenever they're 18, gotta attempt to potentially reach out to me, and I'm gonna be like, nope. Yeah, like, I want nothing to do with him or any other kids he has. I'm good with me, myself, and I, and my mom. My mom has been there for me, I'm not gonna lie, since day fucking 1. Day 1. And on day 1,000, when it got hard for him, he left. On day 1,000, did my mom leave? No. She stepped up. So I'm gonna have her back over his any day of the fucking week. You say Thursday? I'll have her back Thursday. I'll be at her funeral, but I won't be at his. It's just, call me cold-hearted, call me whatever. I want nothing to do with him. Yeah. That's the story. I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute long video. It could still well be, because I'm not quite done filming. I almost am. It's crazy that this is where I am with life, or at least with my dad in this point in my life. Because when I was 8, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have a great relationship with him. When I'm 18, 19, almost 20, I'm gonna have an excellent relationship. My dumb ass, young ass thought, yeah, you're gonna have a great relationship with him when you're older. I shouldn't have thought that. Shouldn't have said it in my head. Because I regret thinking that. Because obviously that didn't end up happening. And one of the craziest things I think about is how he still made it to the age of 42 years old. He'll be 43 in May. How has he made it till his age? Like, how has he not accidentally overdosed on like doing drugs or something? Like, how hasn't he? the wildest that I have. Because eventually, your body can't take all that much, and eventually you'll overdose and potentially die from that overdose. Thank God I haven't had to deal with that with him. I want to add yet to that sentence, because you never know. Like, I bet you he gets out and then a year, maybe even 2 years later, he's back doing the same shit he was doing before he went to prison. And I believe this prison stint is the longest he's been in prison. So my dumbass, here is my dumbass thinking, oh, maybe this time, because of how long he's been in prison. That's the only reason I have this hope. It's because the duration of his prison sentence. I'm like, maybe this will be the time. I am gonna give, before I even want to try, because do I want to be on good terms with him? I don't know. Before I attempt to reach out to him, I want to give a good couple of years of him being sober. I want to see him being, or not sober, I don't think he's had a problem with alcohol, but just being clean off drugs. Hell, going to fucking church again. And really, this time, make it stick for a good 2.5, 3 years. And once I see that you're good after 2.5, 3 years, I'll attempt to reach out to him and try to make peace. Please. Yeah, I'm a dumbass bitch for loving drama, but I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios love drama. Yeah, I love drama, but it's just like, it's getting to a point where eventually I know for a fact I'm just going to be tired of the drama and I'm just going to want peace. So eventually I'm obviously going to want that between me and him. And if that is meaning me and him have to be good, then so fucking be it. I'll attempt to repair the relationship that I didn't break, that he broke. But he and my mom will never, I can never, ever, ever, in infinity years, see them getting back together. One's fire and one's water. My dad's the fire, my mom's the water. Because every time I've been around my dad recently, and it's been around my mom too, they always eventually get into an argument, and I've always seen it be my dad who starts it. So yeah. My mom is probably nervous for him to get out of prison too, because he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to potentially deal with this shit again. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my mom, if he attempts to reach out to you and figures out your phone number, get your number changed. He attempts to reach out to me and finds out my phone number, and it's not just over Facebook messaging, I'll get my phone number changed as well. We can always do that. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope y'all like this drama story time, or just a story time of my crazy ass father. Or I don't even want to call him a father/dad, because he's not that. He was that until I was 5 or 6 years old, and then after that he wasn't. He was just in and out of my life. Until he stopped to be in and out of my life, and just started being out of my life. And I prefer him being out of my life instead of him being in and out. Like, pick one, stick with it. And I prefer you to stick with the out. Yeah, I'm gonna go. If y'all like this video, can talk, don't forget to like it. If y'all aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I will see y'all in the next one, whenever that is. Peace.